Well, welcome everybody to our webinar Wednesday. This week we are joined by Beth from Sunlife, and we are going to be focusing on the Mauritius properties. So we've got Sugar Beach, La Pirogue, Long Beach, and Ambre. And as usual, please keep all of your questions until the end. But over to you, Beth.
So hi there, everybody. As I was just introduced by Olivia there, I am from Sunlife Mauritius. So really excited to showcase our properties for you here today. And I will start just by sharing my screen and going through our two 5-star properties, which are Sugar Beach and Long Beach, and then also our 4+ star property, La Pirogue, and then touching on Ambre, which is our 4-star, more lead-in property at the end as well. So I will get started now. Just bear with me and I will share my screen. Perfect. Okay, super. So as you can see here, we've got the lovely map of Mauritius up there, which I'm sure you are very aware of and you've seen lots of times. So I'll just pinpoint where we're located, and we are very lucky to be located on both sides of the island. Of course, we do often hear the phrase West is best, which we all somewhat agree with as well. Of course, the eastern coast usually has those lovely, fluffy, white sand beaches, but tends to be a little bit windier. And then on the west coast, that is the sunset coast, of course, so beautiful sunsets, though the beaches tend to be a little bit thinner, a little bit narrower there. Just to briefly touch on what we offer on each side of the island, we actually buck the trend a little bit on both sides of the island. As you can see there on the east coast, we have Long Beach and we have Ambre. Now you can see there Ambre is located actually inland a little bit, so just in a little cove, so still has full access to the beach, has its own lovely little pool right down by the beach as well, but is protected from the wind, which is lovely. On the other side, we have La Pirogue and Sugar Beach, and although they look like they're spread apart a little bit, actually we have a huge stretch of beach along there, so we have what we call a soft boundary between the properties. So you'll be walking along through Sugar Beach, and then you'll suddenly find yourself in La Pirogue as well. And I'll touch later on some of the facilities that they also share as well. So on that side of the coast, we actually do gain a lot of sand during poor weather. At the beginning of this year, there were quite a few cyclones, more than expected. So we gained so much sand that we actually had a bank starting to form, and we had to ship some of the sand back up north. So I can confirm we have very good beaches at our properties on the west coast as well. Okay. As I said there, anything with beach in the name is 5-star. So Long Beach on the east coast, Sugar Beach on the west coast. Ambre, also on the east coast, is a 4-star lead-in property. And then on the west coast, we have La Pirogue as our 4+ star property as well. I'm going to touch briefly now on golf as well. We're finding a huge uplift in the popularity of golf, actually, which is great because we have a really strong golf offering. So I'm sure if anyone asks you about golf, they probably mention Île Surf. It's that iconic golfing island set off the east coast of Mauritius. It's about a 10 to 15-minute boat ride, and it's through the mangroves, so it's very pretty, very much part of the experience. And we are very lucky to actually own Île Surf. So of course we have the benefits of owning it. All 4 of our properties, regardless of which side of the island they are located on, have complimentary transfers to Île Surf, including that boat ride, and they will have complimentary unlimited green fees as well. So whether your guests are playing just once in a week's holiday, or they have come to the property for 2 weeks and want to play every single day, all day, it is all complimentary. So absolutely great value. Definitely if you compare ourselves to some of the other properties as well on the island, they're wonderful, but we do have really, really good value. Now, just to briefly touch on Île Surf outside of golf as well, we do often have families where some of them into golf, some of them aren't, and that's absolutely fine. Île Surf does cater for that. When I went recently, I tried out the golf initiation course. So essentially you're on a golfing range for about half an hour to an hour, depending on how long you would like to do it. And you've got a professional there helping you hit it up rather than down, left rather than right, with mixed success on my side, but it is really fun. And you can definitely while away your time doing that, and then head down to our private beach as well. So as I'm sure you're all aware, Mauritius on Mauritius Island, all of the beaches are technically public, but actually on Illo Surf, we are very lucky to have our own private beach because we own the island as well. So you can make sure you dip in the sea, you can enjoy lunch, some drinks down there, whilst other parts of the family or your partner, whoever you're with, might be out on the golf course as well. Now, it doesn't just stop there. We do have further golf offering as well. So if your guest is staying in Long Beach on the East Coast, they'll also have complimentary transfers, complimentary and unlimited green fees at Anahita Golf Club. So that's about a 15 to 20-minute drive there. And then if they're located on the West Coast in Sugar Beach or La Pirogue, they'll have the same. So those complimentary transfers, green fees and unlimited green fees, but at Tamarina Golf Club, which again is about a 10 to 15-minute drive there. If you've got guests that would like to play on both sides of the island, that's absolutely fine. We can provide a transfer. Just bear in mind that it can be about an hour and 10 minutes to an hour and a half, depending on the time. Of course, we do not recommend that they travel during rush hour. Okay, so I'll move on now to what I would call our flagship property, Sugar Beach. So hopefully you are aware and familiar with this photo of Sugar Beach. That is our original manor house. So Sugar Beach used to be a sugar plantation, and it still has that huge acreage and the beautiful original manor house here as well. One thing that I think is actually lovely about the manor house is it's not purely for show. It's not lovely ballrooms inside, preserved purely for weddings or things like that. You can actually stay in the manor house. So you can see there on the ground floor and the first floor, there are room types there, which is great. If you're not located in those room types, you will be in one of the buildings to the left and to the right, which are again of a similar style to be in keeping essentially with the property, and again low rise as well. So a maximum of 8 rooms in one unit, and they will only be ground floor and first floor. Okay. I would definitely describe this property as manor glamour. It is a 5-star and it is very luxurious and glamorous, and it's that traditional glamorous style, which is very much reflected in what we call our Come Alive collection experiences as well. So to touch on what those experiences are, they are meant to be those experiences where you get home and you really want to tell your family about them. Everybody loves that you've been, playing tennis or snorkeling, things like that. But these experiences are entirely specific to not only Sunlife, the brand, but also just Sugar Beach as well. So they're entirely exclusive. I won't touch on every single different type of collection experience, otherwise we'll be here a very long time, but they are included on your fact sheets as well, which you have access to. I'll go through a couple though. Our most popular one is Crazy Croquet, which is a lovely one. It's also my favorite as well. So it's based on the main lawn outside of that manor house. So beautiful backdrop. Everybody gets dressed up in their whites, Panama hats on. There's a beautiful Aperol spritz stand there, cucumber sandwiches, live music, and it's just a very classy affair. A really nice afternoon spent, hopefully in the sun, just whiling away the time. And families can enjoy that. Couples, anyone who would like to get involved absolutely is welcome. And that, of course, is complimentary as well. A second that is super popular is L'Atelier de Saint. So that is French Creole, essentially for a perfume making workshop. So again, based in the manor house, you'll sit with a professional and they will take you through all the different methods of creating a perfume, and you will make one yourself. So we have over 100 different scents, and you build up these scents to create your own perfume, which you can take away. Alternatively, if you'd like it as a moisturizer or a rediffuser, we can do that one as well. So options there. We find this is particularly popular with those who are spending a special occasion with us, whether that be getting married and creating a scent for their perfect day, or a birthday, an anniversary, things like that. We then keep the recipe on hand for everyone who makes a scent, and then you can order it later down the line as well. So if we've got couples getting married, it works as a really lovely present a few years down the line as an anniversary present, or a birthday if you celebrated your 30th and then you order it on your 40th. It's a really nice kind of tangible thing to take home with you and remember your lovely holiday. And then the final one I would like to touch on is Strictly Sugar. So as per the name, it is based on Strictly Come Dancing. So we have a group of professional dancers who come in and they will teach you anything from a samba to a rumba to a waltz. So it's great for all ages, all abilities. And it's really nice and fun because every Saturday, if you would like to, you can choose to go down and do that in the main area of the hotel as well. And people can come and watch, get involved, things like that too. So we had Bobby Brazier, who was on Strictly Come Dancing last year, come out last Christmas and really enjoyed doing it with his family, got stuck in and helped a few people with a few pointers, which was great. And the Made in Chelsea cast have enjoyed doing it recently as well. So it's very much applicable for everybody, and hopefully everybody will love it. So please try it if you do get to come to our property. Okay. So touching on the culinary experiences that we have at the property, of course, we cover all key cuisines to keep everybody happy. So everybody has something that they will love to eat and look forward to. But I think one particular mention has to go to Buddha Bar. So of course, this is originally a Dubai brand, very exclusive, very upmarket, and we have the only one on the island, which we are very lucky to have. As you can see, there is the top photo. So it's located right by the sea. During the day, you can sit out, have your feet in the sand whilst you're enjoying some seafood, sushi, things like that. And of course, you'll have beautiful ocean views. And then during the night, you can see all the lovely lights of the surrounding hotels dotted along the coastline. So again, a very special romantic setting as well. I would definitely recommend the sushi towers there as well. That's definitely my favorite. Because it is so popular, if you've got someone who particularly wants to be there on their last night or for their birthday, something like that, please do get in contact with our reservations team and we will book it in advance for you. Okay. So I'm sure you get asked about families coming to Mauritius a lot. One thing that I love about the destination, it's great for kids to come to. It's great for those who like to explore the outdoors or those who just want to be by the beach. We do have kids clubs at 3 out of 4 of our properties. We don't have a kids club at Ambre because it is adults only for those aged 16 years and above. So it's not really necessary. As you can see from that photo here, we do have all the usual activities, pools in our kids' clubs. We have painting, things like that. But we've made it a little bit Sunlife, a little bit special as well, because ours is bee themed. So on brand with our yellow display, our yellow brand. And when I was last there, it was great to see them doing things that were a little bit more unusual, things like baking a little honey sponge cakes, beeswax candle making as well. And all of our beehives are located on our property on the other side of the island, Long Beach as well. So we've definitely got that continuity of bee themed with Izzy the bee, our mascot. Okay. So I will now move on to La Pirogue, which, as I touched on earlier, is a soft boundary between Sugar Beach and La Pirogue. So as you can see there, it is a very different style of property. They are all individually thatched bungalows, very authentic, settled amongst the gardens before you walk out onto the beach. So just keep in mind that those guests who have loved Sugar Beach, if they want to come back the next year, they may not enjoy La Pirogue quite as much because they are very different styles there. So it's just something you need to keep in mind when you are matching your guests to the right property for them, which I'm sure you're doing excellently already. So as you walk from Sugar Beach, you will be surrounded by those lovely colonial properties, and then you will walk through and instead be surrounded by these. In line with the thatching, our main kind of focus of this property is to create traditional, local, authentic experiences and really bring Mauritius outside the property into the property there as well. So we want to make sure that people aren't just enjoying a beach holiday, but make sure it is a Mauritian beach holiday, I suppose. And again, that is reflected in our Come Alive collection experiences. So my favorite here actually is the Sega Zumba. So you can see a photo at the bottom there of it. So we've meshed together Sega, which is the local traditional dance, with a Zumba class, just to create a really fun activity to engage guests with that outdoor local culture as well. Very much best done in the morning when it's not too hot, but really great fun to do. Definitely for adults, children, men, women to all get involved in. They'll really enjoy it. And then another one that I love actually is Masson Confit. So that's French Creole essentially for sweet and savory pickles. So you'll see those jars up at the top in that image there. One of my absolute favorites is the spicy pineapple sweet, which is lovely. It's based on little breads, which you can eat it. This essentially are those local snacks that outside of the property, you would have locals coming home from work or from school and just enjoying a little bit of a snack, I suppose, like we would in the UK as well. So we have a little cart, go around the property and ring its bell, and you can come over and just treat yourself to some of the local snacks, which is quite nice. Okay. So as you can see here, we have a lot of culinary options there. A special shout out would have to go to Magenta, which is our seafood restaurant located by the pool. And it does actually prove very popular with the Sugar Beach guests as well. So Sugar Beach guests share all of the restaurants with La Pirogue. So often they'll come over and have lunch at the seafood restaurant, maybe enjoy the pool, and then go back to Sugar Beach in the evening for one of their reservations at the restaurants over there. But it does go both ways as well. So those staying at La Pirogue can also go and eat at the restaurants of Sugar Beach, enjoy the bars there and the facilities as well. So that's particularly popular for the adults only pool that we have over at Sugar Beach too. The only exception to that is Buddha Beach. So that restaurant is reserved exclusively for our Sugar Beach guests. But if La Pirogue guests do have a special occasion or something like that, we will definitely try and accommodate them. It just will be at a supplement. So we're not ruling it out. It is just one of those exclusive things we want to keep for our 5-star guests at Sugar Beach. I would really recommend La Pirogue for maybe a 2-week stay, maybe 2.5 weeks as well, a longer stay, because of all the activities, all the traditional experiences, as well as those at Sugar Beach as well. You've got a lot to explore as well as a lot of different places to eat. You're definitely going to find multiple places that you want to go back and eat at. It's also one to keep in mind as well for those who have a 4-star budget, but a 5-star holiday in mind, which I think we can all agree is happening more and more nowadays with a little bit of the cost of living squeeze. So it's one of those really great in-betweens where you've got a 4-star to 4-star plus pricing, but you've got access to all of those facilities, restaurants and bars at the 5-star property next door. Okay. So I will now move on to Long Beach. So we've now hopped across to the eastern side of the island. And as you can see from that photo there, again, this is a very different style of property. Each of our properties very much have their own identity. And this is our very modern property, I would say. You can see there the rooms look really fresh and bright and lovely. And these were actually refreshed during COVID times, so they still very much do look like that. This is actually one of our lead-in room types there, and you can see it fits a sofa in there. It's got a little table. All of our rooms are really great square footage. So I'd really recommend this property for those who are, staying as a family, but want to be in one room together. Even in our lower room types outside of our family room, we can fit in other adults and other children as well. So it's a really great option. I'll touch on our activities later as well, which also make it a great option for families. Okay. In terms of our Come Alive experiences here, my absolute favorite would have to be transforming the piazza. So you can see there in the top right-hand corner, the piazza with the beautiful black and white flooring. Essentially, that is the main hub of the evening. That's where all the restaurants and the main bar are located. So it very much naturally comes to life in the evening. But when we transform it, for example, when I was there recently, it was transformed into a local market. So there was a pearl jeweler there, which of course is very traditional for Mauritian pearls. There was rum tasting, little local snacks, bag weaving, things like that. And a lot of guests will have a drink here, kind of mooch around whatever is on that night, and then go off and have their dinner, and then come back in the evening as well. So there's always live music there. Some nights there will be professional dancers as well, which is really impressive. And then at about 11:30 or so, it'll turn into a DJ. So the night very much progresses on. And when I was there, it was great to see a lot of guests making friends, making dinner reservations together for the next night, things like that. It's a very sociable atmosphere and really welcoming, I think. We also have our biodiversity park as well. So when you go up along the long drive, private driveway up to the property, on the left-hand side is where you have all of the pools, the beach, the accommodation, and then on the right-hand side is where we have our fitness centre as well as our biodiversity park. Now, if you walk along the nature trail there down to the chef's garden and chef's table at the bottom, everything that you eat and drink there will have been made in our biodiversity park. So we're realistic, we can't grow everything for our property, but we do grow all of our garnishes that you can see there with our cocktails and little bits like that. We do what we can to grow what we can on site. Okay. In terms of culinary experience, again, we do have a really strong offering here, 6 restaurants in total. My favorite would be Hasu. So that's our most recently popped in restaurant. It is a Japanese restaurant, which I don't know about you, but we're very much finding is the cuisine of the time. It's the most popular. So we had to involve that in our property. It's very much like Buddha Bar in terms of it is an experience for the evening. You can, if you'd like, get involved in the tasting menu there. You can say, look, we don't know anything about Japanese food. Please surprise us. And they absolutely will. The chef loves doing that. So it's very much somewhere to slowly eat. We don't turn the tables or anything like that. So just please enjoy your evening. Again, one to book in advance if you can, or if you have someone who wants to be there on a particular night. Okay. So in terms of our activities, this is what I touched on earlier about being particularly great for families or those who like to stay active. Because we are a bigger property here, we have bigger activities. So you can see there we have the climbing wall, which I can confirm is great for adults as well. I really enjoyed my time doing that. We do have a full 20-meter lap pool as well, state-of-the-art gym. One thing that I would like to mention as well is the cycling. A lot of families will come to Mauritius and want to go cycling because it is so scenic and lush. And then they will arrive on the coastal road and think, oh, maybe it's a little bit busy. We're very lucky at this property not to be located on a long straight stretch of the road, so cars cannot pick up speed. But I understand that maybe for safety reasons, families would rather stay on property to cycle. Because it is a large acreage property, it's really great that they can go on a decent size cycle ride or hire the bikes for a whole day if they would like to. It's about £5 to £10. And they can really enjoy a beautiful long family cycle ride. And all they will come across is, staff on buggies taking towels down to the pool, or they can enjoy going to the beach. Things like that. There are full pools, so everybody will be happy. Okay. So I will move on to Ambre now. So some people do call it Ambre, which is absolutely fine as well. Please do keep with that, though it is called Ambre technically in French Creole. So you can use both here. So I always think Ambre has that A for adults only and all-inclusive, which is a great way to remember it. Now, as you can see there from our lovely spa located down on the beach, it is very much couples orientated. So there are party places on Mauritius Island, but we are not one of those properties here. As I said, we're age 16 and above. So sometimes we do get what we'd call adult children, so those of university age and above, stay with their parents, for example, which they really enjoy. But it is very much a quiet, relaxing place to be. And that's reflected in the activities that we offer there as well. So all of our kayaks are double kayaks, all of our stand-up paddle boards are double stand-up paddle boards, and we find tennis is particularly popular as well. So we have 2 courts there, and guests often will make friends and then decide to play doubles together as well. So it's a very active, sociable hotel to stay at, I would say. It is also particularly popular with golfers too, which I think is quite nice because they will head out during the day, be away for the whole day, which leaves the property very tranquil, very relaxed. But then when they come back in the evening, there's a little bit more of a transition to a lively atmosphere. It is really nice to have that change, I think. And you're going into the evening, you can get dressed up for dinner, and there's a nice vibe, a nice atmosphere as well. Okay. It is all-inclusive, as I mentioned, and it very much is all-inclusive. So when I say that, there is no all-inclusive plus or all-inclusive premium, no restrictions there. The only things that supplementary cost would be the usual Wagyu steak, lobster, premium champagne, things like that. So very much the expected as well. Show you one of the room types here too. Again, it is a very different style to our other properties. So it's very much fresh, minimalistic, still modern, which is great. Again, very good square footage as well. So this property, I think maybe you'd recognize or maybe think it's quite similar to the high class Attitude properties in terms of style. It is sort of that same price range. So definitely think of this property when you're thinking of a lead-in, all-inclusive, great 4-star property. Okay, and that is enough of me jabbering away for you all. And I think let's go into some questions. I will stop sharing my screen so that I can see you.
Thank you so much, Beth. That was very, very thorough, and you covered a lot of the USPs for each property, which is great. And it's really good to have, a host of different styles and covering, adults or families and being lots of activities and stuff like that. So really good selection of properties there. Thank you so much. Any questions from anyone, please feel free to type in the box. I've got one actually. Do
Yeah.
you normally have clients who do like twin center stays? And are there two that are particularly popular or easier to obviously do?
Yeah, so it's very easy to go from any of our east to west coast properties, which we can definitely help out with. Often we will do a complimentary transfer if there's golfers doing that. We do find the east and west coast pairing is most popular with golfers so that they can enjoy 3 golf courses. As I touched on, it is about an hour and 20 minutes up to an hour and a half drive. So if you've got families or things like that, it's not something I would necessarily recommend. In terms of pairing two properties, I would pair Long Beach with Sugar Beach or Long Beach with La Pirogue, just because they are those 5-star or slightly more premium properties. Ambre is great lead-in, but going from Ambre to Sugar Beach, or more importantly, Sugar Beach back down to Ambre, obviously you've got that difference in cost level of any extras, but also going from a 5-star to a 4, I think we can all agree is a little bit tough mentally, isn't it?
For sure, definitely. Yeah, I mean, those sounds like they're a great combo. And I think experiencing, the East and the West, experience best of the island.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can see definitely that could be something very, very popular for our clients.
yeah, I agree.
Um, okay, well, I don't see any other questions. But yeah, I mean, we do. Hang on one second. We've got Linda. Linda, are you able to type in your question in the Q&A box?
Okay. If she isn't, just to let
Oh,
you know, my
yes,
oh,
sorry, it's come up.
perfect.
How is the snorkeling on the different properties?
So I definitely recommend the West Coast for that. We have a great boathouse in between Sugar Beach and La Pirogue, which they do co-host. And we also have one of our Come Alive experiences there as well, which is the coral farming. So very much helping to spread the coral, bring it back to better health, I would say as well. But that's where we also have our dive center as well. So for me, I would definitely recommend the West Coast. And I think that goes for most properties on the East Coast as well. Something you can do, but it is better on the West Coast.
West is best, like you said. And are there any, oh, we've got one from Annabelle. Please, can you share the sales contact details for these properties? Yes, we absolutely can. And of course, the webinar will be is recorded and we'll send out the link as well for everyone who wants to revisit this training. Just one last one from me in terms of seasons and sort of when to go. I know there are sort of monsoon seasons here and there. Could you just quickly sort of touch on which months are the best for which side?
Yeah, of course. So on the whole, for Mauritius, what I would say for both sides, October to about January, February time is the best time to go. Though, like most places, it's definitely fluctuated a little bit more during those times. For example, I was out in January and actually got stuck there during a cyclone. And I've had friends who went during August and had the most beautiful weather. So I definitely say that's now reflected in a lot of the prices for hotels or for activities on the island as well. So please do not be put off by any low season kind of thoughts. I would definitely still recommend exploring as per the price point that your guests maybe have, because it fluctuates, I suppose, maybe with a bit of climate change nowadays. So I wouldn't say narrow yourself to specifically those months, but in general, those have been historically better.
Perfect. Great. Let's see. I guess that is all from us today. Any last minute burning questions from anyone before we sign off? Great. I think that's all. Well, thank you so much, Beth. It was really nice to have you join us today. And thank you everybody for tuning in today for our live session. We will see you all same time next week. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you for having me.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.